What are you doing?
Right.
We're not putting those two
Justifying one
together.
or the other.
We're talking about messing with little girls, kids, pedophilia. There's plenty of dudes that will cut your throat for that, V, but they will still rape a woman. That's not. What are we comparing that for? We shouldn't be doing
Okay.
that.
We're definitely not saying rape is okay, V.
No, we're
Yeah,
not.
Don't do that.
No,
we're talking
never.
about messing with little girls, though, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. He don't fit that. He don't fit the mold.
All right, when he talked to Howard Stern, when he was talking to Howard Stern, and they were talking about how he would go into Miss Teen USA pageants, it was both. At that time, he owned both. And there were girls as young as 15 years old that were undressing, and he went into behind the scenes and watched them undress, and they were 15 years old. He told a girl who was 10 years old that one day I'm going to be dating her. He said that his own daughter, when they talked about his daughter, he said, I would. If she was not my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. When they asked about Tiffany, when Tiffany was 1 year old, when you said, "What do you think about your daughter?" He said, "Well, she doesn't have these. She has Ivanka's legs, but we don't know if she had these." His daughter was 1 year old, and he was talking about her legs and her tits.
Guy. We're saying morally, we don't rock with him on a moral compass. You're pointing out all of the things why we would go, it's probably not our guy. I'm simply saying, if the Democrats knew that he was in these files in a bad way, there's no chance they would have let him win this last election.
So let me tell you why you're wrong. Let me tell you why you're wrong. Because if the Democrats...
Hold up.
What?
You can't tell me why I'm wrong.
I will, and I'll tell you why.
Go ahead, though. Let me see you try.
If the Democrats wanted to, what Biden would have done was fire the attorney general and put another attorney general in there to prosecute Trump. What happened? Merrick Garland did not prosecute Trump. And everyone was saying, why doesn't Biden fire Merrick Garland? And Biden literally was saying, well, then that means that I would actually have to violate the oath of the presidency and have direct say-so over the Department of Justice, who should be independent agencies. And so he could have fired Merrick Garland right then and there, and then Trump would have been prosecuted, and we wouldn't have to deal with any of this shit. And if you listen to any surrogate from the DNC, they blame Biden for having Trump president right now because he could have violated his oath of office and kicked Merrick Garland out of there, institute another AG that would have done what he said, and then we wouldn't have to do this. That's why because if the Democrats, and this is Biden right now, if Biden didn't actually want to follow the rule of law, that's what he would have done. Hey, that's how I know that he didn't actually go into the files.
He was the chief executive. Merrick Garland served at the pleasure of the president. The president could have fired him. So what are you?
That's my point. That is my fucking point. No, the president could have fired him, but it would look like
that's got nothing to do with the Epstein files. Then
that's proof. By the way, that first off, your whole statement, if it starts with an if, you've proved nothing wrong on this side. If frogs had wings, they wouldn't bump their ass when they hopped. Like, that don't mean anything.
I love that.
So what you just did was started your whole thing with if. Like, if I was 6'8", I'd be in the NBA. Like, okay, let's make that the argument.
But that was your argument. Your argument was that wasn't that your entire argument?
My point was the reason I don't believe Trump was in there in a bad way is because I believe, it's an opinion, that I believe the Democrats would have made sure that that bad information would have been released when he was about to win. I'm just telling you that.
Okay, so when you say Democrats, who would have done that? Now let's go to the individuals that would have done that, right?
I don't know, dude. Any
the anonymous sources,
because that's important.
All the anonymous sources that have taken place for the past how many years?
Line them all up. Line all of them up. Pick the one you want. Pick the ones you think are the most important. I think if those people knew he was in there in a bad way, they would have made sure that this information would have leaked out.
Nancy Pelosi.
That's all I'm saying.
Why do you think Nancy Pelosi had access to those files?
Adam Schiff.
She was the fucking
again. How do you think? Why would you think Adam Schifter had access to those files?
My God.
Why do you think somebody wouldn't come to him? Do you think? Look at all the information that has been leaked then over the years, or whether it's true or false. There were tons of stuff that has been leaked over the years. Who leaked them? We don't know their names. Okay. So don't ask us for names, but someone would have leaked it.
What leaks are you talking about? Did they come out of the Department of Justice?
You're in the wrong, like you're what a point is made and you jump straight to like the wildest semantics. Like,
no, the reason why is because the only people that had access to this information was the Department of Justice. When you're talking about leaks
the FBI did it?
The FBI is part of the FBI is part of the Department of Justice.
How about the CIA?
Okay, so again, the FBI is part of the Department of Justice. Who do you
think has been leaking information all these years?
What information?
Somebody that's
Nancy, give me some concrete information on what you're talking about.
James Comey.
What, he leaked information?
What's his name? Who's the guy who got fired?
James.
Who is his assistant? The assistant.
Chris Wray?
No, the guy under Comey, who took over temporarily.
That was Chris Wray.
No, Andrew. No, what was his name?
You're
Michael. What was
about the FBI agents?
No, I'm not talking about Peter Strzok. I'm talking about the guy who goes on CNN now.
Leaked shit too.
Oh, what the hell was his name? Ray didn't come until he got appointed later. Between Comey and Ray, there was the acting director of the FBI.
Hold on.
You talking about Andrew McCabe?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Andrew McCabe. He was found guilty for leaking something. Of course, that one particular one was on Hillary Clinton. But
there's 37,000 FBI.
There are a million
employees. Like when I say Democrats, you want
anonymous sources to the Post. To the
because
Times.
the reason why I made that point is because most leaks happen. They go from FBI to a Congress, a person like somebody.
Who? You told me to name a Democrat. Name the out of the 37,000 employees the FBI have. Give us the name.
That's what I'm asking for, because you keep saying it gets leaked, and that's what I said.
Anonymous sources. Then there's been a million anonymous sources who you believed 100% all the time. So there are anonymous sources who could have leaked
all the time.
90% of the time, you believed them. Back during Russiagate, you believed them.
It wasn't
Don't
anonymous
say
sources.
You didn't.
During Russiagate, it wasn't anonymous sources that I believed. I believed the Mueller report. The Mueller report that came out. The 400-page documents is what I believe.
Oh my gosh. No, that's all right. I'm not going to argue about it because everyone else on the panel knows there were anonymous sources left and right during that time. Anonymous sources that Don Jr. made a phone call to Donald Trump on Air Force One and blah, blah, blah. I mean, there are a million anonymous sources back then. It's the same thing happens now. It happens in every administration. It happens all the time. And furthermore, Jeffrey Epstein, if he had the goods, he hated Trump. He didn't want Trump getting anywhere. He could have blackmailed him and released them himself.
That would have incriminated himself further. Obviously, that's why he was only trying to.
Why? You don't think he would have gotten help from whoever took Trump's place? You don't think he would have gotten help from the Democrats?
No, I don't.
That would have been a tough. It's possible, but that would be extra.
He was only texting them while they were doing congressional hearings. He was only texting a Democrat.
Yeah, do you think she has the power of pardoning him?
She probably knows enough people to get them all together and get with the Joe. Where's the auto pen so we can give him
There's literally one person that can pardon someone at the federal level. That's the president. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's saying.
And his auto pen and the little people that signed all the pardons.
And speaking of pardons, why did Trump give Ghislaine all this access to go into a minimum security prison where she's able to play with puppies and do yoga when almost no sexual abuser has ever gotten that privilege? Very, very few, a handful of federal times
I didn't agree with that. So, I mean, you're coming at me like I'm like,
why wouldn't he pardon her then? Because why would he leave her in there?
He's not going
part
to.
of the files. If he's
Again,
part of what happened,
why did he
I'm asking.
even...
I'm not arguing. I'm asking this question just in general.
I think the optics would look
Because
terrible.
Yeah,
Well,
I was just
I do
think
too.
about it.
Yeah.
Think
I
about it
do
right
too.
now. If he pardons her, if
Yeah,
he
go
pardons her right now, he has no more weight over the issue, right? But by
done.
keeping her there, he can say, "Listen, just wait until I leave office, and blah blah blah, and then I'll get pardoned by Vance and all that crap." He can literally say, "Stay in prison. I'm going to give you some comfort ass places to live. But for the next 2 years, you stay here, and then I'll pardon you." But if he pardons her today, she can come out and say whatever the fuck she wants to say, right? So he's controlling her right now. Now you'll see what happens at the end of the presidency.
So
Yeah, we'll see.
I disagree with that. He ain't in
I'm
control.
not sure if I'm
of Jack.
on board. What do you got, Chalo? I need to hear more on this. I'm intrigued.
I'm not.
No, because I think
I'm
that-
not
I
sure
think-
he's in control of Jack when it comes. Dude, he's panicking crazy, and I think, like I said, I don't believe he messed with the girls. He's not panicking because it's going to come out that he messed with.
Yeah.
But like it's his responsibility to push that under the rug to make this whole thing go away, just like you make everything else go away. Squirrel, and everybody starts looking that way.
I agree.
That's his job right now. He's panicking. Like I said, the
I don't
panic
think
that I see in him, that's what makes me think there's somebody else
Something else,
floating
that's
up here.
I
Because
think
he's
it's something
panicking
else.
crazy. He's
I don't think he's
panicking like he's on the tapes messing with little girls, like they got video of him. He's panicking like that, but I don't get the sense that that's it.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know
know
what I
that.
mean? But I guess
in the files
I'm
like
looking
that?
at that panic like, well, then what's the problem? And the problem is this dude up here is on his ass about getting this whole thing, making this disappear. And that's what's going on. That's
Do
just
you
my
think
opinion.
he's a pedophile in those files in that way?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bill Clinton. I think Bill Clinton and Donald Trump.
What makes you
are
think
don't
both
care
that?
about
Because
Bill
I've seen the
Bill
files.
Clinton died
What
tomorrow.
makes you
I
think
wouldn't
that?
care. I'm asking
I'm
about
sorry?
Trump.
Yes, I believe both
What-
of them
You do?
are.
Okay.
What,
I was just.
what have you seen that makes you think that though?
I mean, I just gave you a lot of different things where he was talking about underage women or underage girls, and
he feels like there's an attraction there.
Hold on.
yeah,
Steve.
there's an attraction, right?
Nice.
When
Let
you're
me tell you-
constantly
let me tell you
talking
something.
about when you're constantly talking about 10-year-olds or 15-year-olds,
Oh my God.
that's a problem.
I gotta say,
What is he talking about?
I do kind of agree with that. Like, we do the
It makes
10-year-old
sense.
girl
It
that
makes
he's,
sense.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I
Biden
kind of
did the same thing.
I know,
Biden did
but-
the same
Hold
thing.
on. What
But we don't
Then
care.
convict
That's
him.
the thing.
I mean, listen, if he's in there, fucking convict him. I don't give a fuck. I don't know why people are just like, but what about him? But what about him? Who
Yeah,
cares?
that's-
Put them all in
Hold on.
jail.
I'm with you on that, but I don't think there's evidence against Trump. There's innuendo. There's
First of all, you're not gonna. I haven't heard anything about any 10-year-old.
the 10-year-old girl he's referring
Think
to.
about-
He said he'd get. With
It's
her
literally
if she
on
was
video
older.
where he talks to
Yeah.
the 10-year-old and says, I'm going to date her in 10 years.
Why did he
Biden
say
did
in
the
10
same
years?
thing.
Why did he say in 10 years and not now?
Biden said the same thing. Wait, who the
Because she'd
fuck?
be
When
legal-
the fuck
she'd
did
be
Biden say he
legal
was
in
going to
10
date
years.
a 10-year-old?
when you
She'd
got
be legal in
older.
10
When
years.
she got
Hold on,
older.
hold on 1 second. Hold on. That's exactly right. You're right, Nancy.
Can I
Because
ask any
she
guy
was-
here, have you
Hold
ever
on.
looked at a 10-year-old girl and said, I'm going to have sex with her when she's older?
Steve,
That's
let
not what
let
they're
me talk for a second.
saying.
Let me talk for a second. He said that. Hold on, B. Hold on. He
That's
said
still-
because in
I'm
10
sorry.
years, if she was 10, in 10 years, she would be legal.
That's
Yeah.
messed up.
Hold on, and let me finish. Now, if you go in and we live in Florida, you do too. You go to any of these diners, you will see a bunch of 80, 70-year-old men, and there will be girls from high school that come strolling to Dunkin' Donuts, and they will look at them, and they might make a comment amongst themselves, bro, that's how old men do. But like talking about it and messing with little girls is totally different. You keep joining him with all this outrageous shit, bro. Like you gotta separate.
Again, even you are talking about high school. We're talking about a 10-year-old girl. A girl who doesn't even have
He was
anything
making her
yet.
feel pretty.
In
He's
10
saying you're a
years,
pretty
it's
girl,
funny.
and if you were
Oh my
older, I
God.
would love to date
But
you.
No, that's not. The exact words were, do you know I'm going to be dating her in 10 years? That was
Can
the
you believe
exact
it?
It should
words.
be 20.
It wasn't like,
should
I
be
think
20.
you're pretty. No, it wasn't none of that shit.
Can I say something real quick? Can I say something real quick? I don't think I've ever looked at a 10-year-old girl and thought,
Thank you.
I'm going to.
I feel like I'm a crazy person, Rashad.
That's a
What the
child,
fuck?
man. I don't think there's no defense to that. I do agree with
You're
you.
not 80
Oh,
either.
God, again.
He was 46. He was
I think-
46 years old when this happened. A 46-year-old man looking at a 10-year-old girl thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna date her in 10 years." That's kind of sick, man.
That's disgusting.
I think here's the point. Here's the point. What Chalo is saying is the idea of him molesting the girl when she's 10 wasn't in his mind at the time. He was like, I'm going to wait until she's legal. That doesn't mean that clears the moral argument, because if it was my daughter, he going to be stretched out on whatever floor he is.
Yeah.
But
At 20.
that doesn't make him a pedophile because he said that. It would just piss me off as a father if you said that about my 11-year-old daughter. I'd be like, no, I'm
Okay,
not
so
gonna
what do you think when he talked about his own daughter's
But
breasts and legs at 1 year old?
No, hold on.
B, I'm just trying to say what Chalo is trying to tell you is, if we think that because he said that of the 10-year-old, that makes him, suspect
Automatically.
for pedophilia, what Chalo is saying, he's saying, I'm going to wait until whoever it is of legal age. So it doesn't really suggest that he would mess with underage people. That was the point. He wasn't saying there wasn't any moral.
But he found her attractive. That's the
Exactly.
problem.
That's what I'm about to say. But he still found the little girl attractive.
Even if
Like,
he said, even if he wouldn't
that's-
act on it,
but-
the point is that he found an underage girl at the age of 10 attractive.
That is the moral thing, but there is nothing illegal about that.
But
It is
the
a
question,
moral
the question wasn't whether or not he committed an illegal act. The question was, what makes you think he would be doing that?
Right. And what we're pushing back, what Chalo's pushing back on is, he said when she is legal.
But
He
he
didn't
found her
say-
attractive.
But listen,
But that's fine. I mean,
There is
That's
all-
fine.
Listen.
well,
listen.
you can find anyone. Look, I can see
Let me-
the money behind the bank and be like, man, I sure wish that was mine. That don't mean I robbed the bank.
Bro.
Don't give me that analogy, because I mean, there's a difference between finding a 10-year-old attractive and thinking about wanting to bang her versus robbing a bank.
V.
I have daughters.
Did he say he wanted to bang her?
He literally said, "Do you know that I will be dating her in 10 years?"
Dating
What do you
dating
what do you
her.
think does that mean?
You've
What-
taken that. You're
what do you-
drawing, but you're able to draw conclusions, right? And that's fine.
It is
What I'm
an A
saying
plus
is,
B equals C conclusion.
V.
No,
If
that's
you
really
If I tell you, hey, you know what? You look pretty good. Don't you think? Is he gay?
That's
I mean,
you-
like, that's just
you
an A
going
plus B
deeper-
equals C
deeper than
conclusion.
It really is.
V,
And I don't
V,
like Trump
you
either,
believe-
but I mean,
yeah,
I ain't taking
you
it
believe-
that deep, bro. Like you
V.
going a little bit farther. You
Let me.
putting shit that ain't there. Like you can't put that
Yeah,
type
like,
of shit on
yeah.
a person without no proof, bro. That's bogus.
Right.
No, I'm
That's-
kind of.
that's not
There's
right.
there's definitely a moral breakdown right there, but it's not illegal what he did.
I didn't say it was illegal. I said it was disgusting.
That's fine, and we're saying there's a moral problem. You say disgusting, I say a moral problem. It doesn't mean like, ooh, I'm giving him a escape. I'm saying the guy was saying when the person is legal, he would take action on his thought.
There's also a mindset, especially older people, older generations. Let me say this. I have daughters, and my daughters have female friends. And I watch these girls grow up. And I have said, like, one of my daughter's best friends, she was beautiful when she was 10 years old. If I say, oh, hey, Aubrey, she's so beautiful, does that mean I'm thinking about her sexually? You're automatically sexualizing these kids, and it doesn't necessarily mean that that's what he was doing. Because I know, like, I just remember, like, having uncles that are, like, would be in their 90s now, saying, oh, you're going to be a heartbreaker one day. That's the mindset, like,
I
of the
think.
older generation. You can recognize that a young child is beautiful and going to grow up into a beautiful woman.
That's what I was
So,
Saying
saying.
someone's beautiful and saying I
think-
want to date them are two separate
Yeah,
things.
I think what he said, like, had he been like, "Hey, look at this beautiful little 10-year-old girl," it'd be no
Acceptable.
problem, right? But he sexualized the little girl when he said, "I'm gonna be dating her in 10
Correct.
years." That was him sexualizing the
Right.
10.
But have you
That
slept
was him
with
being
everybody
corny.
who did?
He
'Cause
was
I
trying to
haven't.
call her pretty, and he was being corny about it.
Even
That's-
if
Right.
that's it.
even
I
if
think-
he
I
was
think
it's
look
just
at it.
even if he was, that thought is not illegal. And the whole point Chalo was making is that shouldn't automatically make him qualified to be a pedophile. That was the point. It doesn't mean that he wasn't disgusting or what he said wasn't in poor taste or he wouldn't have got dropped by somebody's dad, because he probably would have.
Yeah.
We're not saying that it's cool to go around and do that. What we're saying is when you act on it, that's when the crime happens. And we don't see where he acted on this.
I think he uses his words poorly and says things out of pocket.
And I don't like the dude. Like, because of stuff like that, I don't like the dude.
I fucking hate him. But the thing is, you can't put something like that, because you got to think about, like I was telling you guys earlier, even in the world of your hardest criminals, of murderers, rapists, thieves, the hardest, the most
child molesters are the worst. They're the lowest.
You can't mess with kids.
Nope.
You can't mess with kids. So in your most horrible environment, that's the worst thing you can do. So just because he's a horrible person, however horrible you think he is, you can't put that on him unless he has given you proof that that's what he did.
No. I disagree with that. I mean, I can give my opinion based on all of the things I know about him. Now, I'm not saying I can convict him in a court of law, right? But I can give my opinion on whether I think he committed those acts.
And
just like we all agreed that Bill Clinton, just like we all agreed that I'm saying the same thing about Bill Clinton. I'm saying based on what I know of Bill Clinton, the assault cases that he's had, the things I know about him, the stuff that he did as governor of Arkansas, the stuff that he did with Monica Lewinsky, even though that was consensual, there was that power dynamic, all of that shit that he's done, that I can say that I am fairly confident that I would put tens of thousands of dollars and bet to say that he did some crazy shit with Epstein.
Because this isn't the first time before Epstein that we've heard about Bill messing with little girls. That's always
I mean, he was.
Bill likes young black girls, to be honest with you. That's what he likes.
That's what they were saying in Arkansas, right? So the point is that so again, just like you said, there's no evidence there.
But like you're not. But when we're saying messing with little girls, we're not going out of the realm when we put Bill Clinton in there, because he's already proven that to us. What I'm saying is Donald Trump told you, I don't mess with little girls, and you steady trying to put him in that category, and you have nothing to prove it to you besides him saying that he would date a 10-year-old in 10 years.
No, don't say nothing besides, because I just told you that he walked in on 15-year-old girls and bragged about it.
Bro, once again, that's my point. An old man looking at 15-year-old naked girls does not make him a molester, bro, or a pedophile.
Oh, wait. It makes him a pedophile. It doesn't mean he acted on it. But if you're enjoying looking at 15-year-old girls, that makes you a pedophile.
First of all,
that's it. Full stop.
Full stop. That is, man. You can't 15. That's child.
Because if he took pictures, just example, if he took pictures and sent them off, he would be arrested.
That's kiddie play. That's illegal.
He was just walking around.
No, Chalo. I'm not saying he did that. I'm saying to show how important it is for a grown man not to be looking at naked teenagers. That would be illegal if he passed that on to someone else. Like, that in itself would be the crime. But I'm not saying he did that crime. I'm just saying you shouldn't be
once
in
again,
that room.
You're putting him on a moral pedestal that he will never be on. You see what I'm saying? So morally, like, you should think, like, you would probably think, because you have little girls, I got little girls. If it's some naked girls in the room, I gotta get out. Oh, excuse me, and I'm gonna go out, wait till y'all get dressed and come back in. That's our automatic. When you a slime ball, you like shit. You just looking and walking through, like, that's that. But what I'm saying is that correlating into being a pedophile, like, he's a dirty old man. Like, if you told me that,
let's say that he's not a pedophile, right? Let's say he's not a pedophile, and we were trying to figure out what would send a person into that area. I think what V is saying, these particular things smell like a person that might actually act on it at some point. On the flip side, Chalo is saying the things that happened are slimy, but doesn't necessarily prove anything. And the bottom line here is you both just shared your opinion of.
Correct. Yeah, it's my opinion.
To my original question of V, do you think that he did something? And you're like, yeah, and this is why I think that.
Correct.
Cool. I got it. I think it's fair game for you to think that. I think it's fair game for people to think Donald Trump's an asshole. I don't really think it's fair, but I think it's fair that people think he's some kind of saint. Like,
well, let's take this though.
I don't think anybody.
Look at the chicks. Look at the chicks you've seen him with. I mean, he's been a bachelor for on and off, for the last 40, 50 years. Look at the chicks you've seen him with. Have you ever seen him with a young chick that's his woman? Like, have you ever seen that? And with some young 20-year-old on his arm? He's about 80 now.
And how old is his wife? Is she 80?
78. No, she's 55.
No,
that's a 30-year gap.
That's a 30-year difference.
27.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is she wasn't walking around on his arm when she was 18 years old. She was in his
palace. No one would do
store.
that. Come on, Chalo. No one's going to be like, hey, no one's going to be out here like, hey, I'm 45 and my girlfriend. No one's going to be dude that used to be the coach of the
nobody.
No one's going to do that with an 18-year-old.
He just now got in the political realm. Before this, he was just a bachelor. He was New York's finest. He paid for a porn. He paid to have sex with a porn star. And look at her age. She's not even like that's what you're paying for. Right. But plus look at what he's like, okay, you're gonna pay, okay? Like if you're gonna pay, is that what you're paying for? If you like them young as hell, what the hell are you paying for that for?
Right.
For
yeah,
what?
Stormy Daniels was in her 30s.
For what? I mean, she was old. Come on, man. That's
I think she was older than Melania.
He just doesn't fit the mold to me. Like I said, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, and I'm not saying that. I believe.
No, I think it's fair. I think the opinion.
He just doesn't fit the mold, and I've been around that type of stuff. He just the dirty old man. Like he's not disappointing me in that role. Of being the scumbag, but like as far as like I ain't gonna put the pedophile in him because he's not. I've seen a few of those, and he's not fitting that vibe. He doesn't give me that energy. And I mean, I could be wrong.
With younger models that they were in their 20s,
and I'm not saying anything that you said about him, V, is wrong. What I'm saying, even with that aside, that still doesn't change the energy I feel when
Yeah, opinions were not changed. You guys stated your case. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the middle of that.
I still don't know. I still don't know how anyone could just say it's okay for talking about your own infant daughter at the age of 1 and talking.
Who said that it was okay though?
I mean, Chalo, am I wrong? Or you just saying it's dirty old man talk? I mean, it's locker room talk or whatever you want to call it.
It's talking about walking through, looking at 15-year-old girls that were changing clothes.
Yeah, and say that about a 1-year-old infant or whatever.
Tiffany was 1 year old on television. Then they asked, and they said, what are the talk about your child?
You don't have to regurgitate it. What we're saying is we don't agree with your assumption of thinking that we somehow thought that was okay, because we never said that was okay.
So what do you think about that, Chalo? If that doesn't tell you or give you chills, it's like only a pedophile would talk about his 1-year-old daughter's breasts and legs. That's what I think. Why don't you think that?
Because first of all, bro, a 1-year-old doesn't have breasts or whatever you're even talking about. So he's being in general. For you to nail it down like, oh, he must mess with kids because he's talking about a 1-year-old being, when she grows up and this and that. Man,
he literally pointed to his chest and says, she doesn't have this yet, but she has Marla's legs already.
He was joking. You think he was serious?
That is disgusting.
When my daughter was born, yeah, like kids. My son, I got sons. When they were born, we knew right away. Oh, he's got your feet. He's got your this. He's got your that. Is it that far out of pocket?
To talk about a chest and legs of a 1-year-old?
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't have kids.
All right. It's something you might. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not saying, because I don't know what he was saying. I never saw the quote. I never saw him say the words. What I'm saying is, for my kids, when they were born, we knew right away, yep, this one's got my skin color. That one has my wife's hair. This one has my legs. That one has her legs. I mean, we didn't talk about breasts because they're babies, so that's probably out of pocket. Again, I didn't hear it. But
That's the point that I'm making.
I'm saying
Well, let me ask
it's
you
not
this.
out of
Let
the
me ask
realm
you
for
this.
people to compare their kids to the
Right,
body parts
bro.
of the mother and the father to say who
Like, listen,
has this or that.
when my son was born, bro, and he came out and I was holding him before they circumcised him, right? He had a whole pinky there, bro. He had a whole, and so I'm holding him, right? And I'm like,
Damn,
hey,
he's like me.
yeah.
I'm
I'm
out
like,
on this.
hey, ladies,
This is
I
going
to
the
the
wrong way.
nurses. I look at the nurses like I got a stripper here for sure. Like I think I'm about the, little mini dark chocolate.
Rashawn, stop this.
I'm making up stripper names and everything. Now, I was talking about my son's man, but does that make some kind of like? I mean, I was joking. I mean, and some people might find that cruel, but if they do, so what? They kid. It's my kid, and I crack a joke about it.
Rashawn, cut his mic.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like you can't, you could feel
Dude,
like
we've
that, but
all done it. I don't care.
yeah.
Anyways,
Like,
my
hey,
point.
man, look at my
He
little
did
man.
it
I was
on
like, I got stripper
television.
material right here, ladies. The nurses was
Right.
cracking up laughing.
Right, Chalo,
They thought it
We
was
did
funny.
it on
for the
television
record.
with Robin Leach. That's the only difference. We
Strike.
just didn't do
Yeah,
it.
It's a combination. It's really what it is. If it was one thing by itself, you can excuse it away. But when it's this plus this plus this plus this plus this
That's
plus this,
because I don't know. I didn't hear the quote, so I think that's fair. If he got that far into it, then
and
that's how you
have
take
to hear
it.
the
That's how you
quotations because he's a crude dude. He's a crude dude. Like, you
That's
don't have
who
to
he
hear none
is.
of the quotes to know. Like, yeah, he's a crude dude. Yeah, he told this joke about when the 1-year-old gets so they're gonna, because he's a fucking dickhead. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, being what he is and his personality, like, I can't put that on him until I have proof. Like,
Let me
I know
ask-
what he is.
Hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Let me ask y'all this. Have any of y'all worked in construction? You're
Me.
soft, so I know you haven't.
I
I have worked in
Right.
construction my whole life. And trust me, the things Donald Trump says ain't nothing compared to what you hear on a job site. That's all I'm going to
The
say.
problem, though, with that is that job site isn't the leader of the free world. You're supposed to be the
But he's,
example.
but
Like-
he's a
like
construction
we're
guy.
telling our kids, one day you could be president. Like, that's the pinnacle of their
I know.
success, is to make it to this guy, and this guy just happens to be a dumbass. Like,
He's not a dumbass.
Yeah.
He's just blunt.
But
he's a
see,
dumbass, and he's
Jen,
also
what-
blunt.
That's
It could
the
be
point I
both.
be trying to
Blunt
get
or
to you and Nancy to understand. Like, he represents you. When he goes anywhere in the world, he represents you.
represents America.
And
Yeah.
like he has to hold himself to a certain standard. Like, that's why I was arguing with Nancy. Well, they make fun of him. No, even if they called him names, he's not supposed to call them names because he's the president. Like,
Yeah.
he's supposed to stand up here like he's not a kid. He's a grown man. And
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. He acts like a child. Something you sit there like,
But
well,
see,
they call it. And when you defend it, it's like, what the hell, dude? Like, come on,
I
man.
honestly think he has Asperger's because he has no filter, and my grandfather was the same exact way. There was no filter on that
He's a
man.
New
He
Yorker.
had Asperger's. Well, Asperger's. He shows signs of Asperger's too, because
Could be.
if you watch him, I really think he does have some form of autism / Asperger's.
I
because
know.
that filter is not there.
I
But
know
he's also
one
not
thing.
that person in private. The person you see in public, and the proof of that is you watch. If you saw Mamdani go to the White House yesterday, and if you watch that whole exchange, he was not what he normally portrays in public. He was a very even-keeled, calm, friendly.
You made a lot of people mad with that.
I'm
Bill Maher
sure
said the
they
same
did.
thing.
It was
Oh,
a little
well.
too chummy.
Bill Maher
Made a
said he
lot of
was.
people mad.
Bill Maher said he was a genuine guy, and they had a great dinner, and they were able to have discussions and disagree without arguing. And he had him sign the list of names that he called him.
I think what you saw though was Mandami's the charmer, man. You know what I mean? Both him and Trump have the it factor. You know what I mean? Both, they got people that
Yes.
love him. You know, but Mandami, he seems like, I mean, I don't even know the guy, I don't know
like
very
him. I
much
think he's
about
a
him,
snake.
but I think that I like him just from what I see. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
even
don't.
when
I don't at all.
politics,
I think he's a snake.
it's like with Obama. You know what I mean? Like Obama, despite all his politics and stuff like that, he comes off as a genuine guy. He comes off really good, like a really
Yeah.
good guy. That's what Mandami
I
comes
don't
off
think
as.
so at all. I don't think he comes off as genuine at all. I'm pretty good at reading people, and to me, he
And you
seems
think
like
Trump
a
is a
real
good dude?
snake.
I was just
I
gonna
didn't
say,
say
you
that.
wrote-
Did I say that? When did I say
No, I'm
that?
asking. That was a question. I'm asking the question. I didn't
No,
say
you're saying it
think
like
you.
I said that though, but I didn't say that.
It'd be different
I
if it
didn't
came in
say
text,
that.
but you literally saw me go. And you think, like, question mark, do you think Trump is a good guy? Because I remember the headlines back when Obama ran, when he wore a tan suit, like the world was going to end.
And everybody
I know.
freaked out. Yeah.
And you
the
look
world
at
was
all the
breaking down.
crazy things Trump does on a daily basis. I'm like, straight up, tan suit was like the talk of the town. For
I
weeks.
know.
Right. That was the pinnacle of politics right there. Like, oh
So
my God.
I guess
he just
my
broke
question
politics
is,
when he wore that pantsuit.
I guess my question is,
Yep.
none of us know much about Mamdani because I don't live in New York. I don't know if any of you guys do,
Right.
but I don't. So I don't know much about him, right? But we do know a lot more about Trump than we do about Mamdani. And your assessment is, in the little bit we know of Mamdani, he's not a good dude. I'm asking, do you think Trump is?
I think Trump is good for certain things. Let me put it that way.
So you don't think Mamdani's good for anything at all in the world? He's just
We'll
Yeah, but
see.
that ain't really what he's asking. He's asking, do you think he's a good person? Basically, right?
From what I have seen, and I've seen a lot of news coverage on Mamdani. From what I've seen, I don't think he's a good person. I think he is a snake. He's a two-faced snake oil salesman, because half the stuff that he says he wants to do, he could have done when he was councilman. Now that he's mayor, he absolutely cannot do it, especially the tax thing, because Kathy Hochul said, I am not raising taxes. You are not going to do this. And as mayor, he's basically just a figurehead for the city. He got lucky that he kept Jessica Tisch. And I think Trump had something to do with that, because his daughter is good friends with Jessica Tisch.
So that's fair.
But, so I think that Trump has good intentions for the country. I really do. I think he has good intentions for the country, but I also think that there are motivations to protect other people.
So my
that
question
are not
is this.
involved in government.
When Trump said he was going to lower our taxes, and that hasn't
Thank
happened.
you.
When Trump
It's happening in 26.
You realize that doesn't
no.
happen overnight?
It's always tomorrow, but that's not what he ran on. He ran on, I'm going to
Day
do it
one.
right away. Day one.
They
Day
signed the
one,
bill.
baby.
And day one, he signed executive orders. Day
but-
one, he did sign executive orders
did
that affected our gas prices.
My energy
prices came down.
energy bill hasn't went down. My point is,
My energy bill's gone up.
you're holding
And he-
Mamdani to say he's not even mayor yet. You're holding him to something, and the
I'm
very
not
guy
holding
that
him
we're
to anything.
comparing him to.
I'm not holding him to anything.
If you're not holding him to anything, you wouldn't have said he's promised things that he didn't come through on. Like that's holding him to
that's not
something.
what I said. I said he's promised.
on it.
No, I did not say that. I said he's promised things that he absolutely cannot, as mayor of New York City, do.
And what did you say when he was councilman?
That there was things that he could have done, and
if
he did not do it.
So had he done those things, your opinion would have been different, right?
Yes,
that's my point.
Absolutely,
Okay.
that absolutely would have been different if he, as councilman, if he did the free bus thing or whatever he did
the free bus thing as councilman, but he only did it for a couple routes.
Yeah, see, there's a difference right there.
It was a pilot program. So the reason why he did it as councilman was a pilot program to prove that he actually would do the things.
But as mayor, he can't do it. He can't do that.
But I guess what Jesus, tell me if I'm wrong, but I kind of feel like what Jesus is saying is that, okay, so you're saying that Madami, he made these promises and he came through with them. You'd be like, he's cool. But Trump, he's made all these promises and he hasn't came through with them. But
so the day one thing was stupid.
Not just day one.
That doesn't matter though. That's what he told people. He wanted people to vote for him for that.
But things are happening. Things are happening.
My point is,
you guys don't understand.
These things don't happen overnight. He should have never said on day one.
Yes.
But when he said on day one, he's talking about by executive order on his first day, he's going to do X, Y, Z. And he did that. So he did keep his promises.
Did it? Because the promise was to lower the thing, not I promise I'm going to sign a piece of paper that at some point in the future.
But it takes time.
No. You don't get to do
there
that.
There were people 3 weeks after he was in office saying, my eggs are still expensive. Duh. It takes time.
He said
nothing happens overnight. Everybody knows that. The tax plan has been approved. It's going through. You're going to see the changes in your taxes. Okay. Energy has changed. The oil prices have gone down. Gas prices have gone down. Electricity in some areas has gone up. But I can tell you the oil has gone down because I heat my house with oil, and there's a major difference, and it's huge for me. Okay, it may not be for you, but it's huge for me. And all these things take time to ripple in and change into the effect.
That's a fair point. Now, let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me ask this question. This is important because this ties back to earlier.
And he did get no taxes on tips.
Earlier
and Social Security.
Earlier, when we said
the Social Security stuff isn't there, it's only the tax on tips, and that's limited. You
but it's still
on Social Security.
Earlier, when we said it.
Yes, there is. Go look it up. You were wrong. There's the tax on Social Security still exists.
All right, let me finish this one point.
Sorry.
Earlier, when we said Trump literally said the words that the thing was a Democratic hoax, you guys said people don't understand because they don't understand Trump speak. Now you're switching it around to saying, when he said he was going to lower the taxes, he did. What you guys didn't understand was X, Y, Z. How does that work? Like when you
he lowered the taxes. You don't say I'm going to do everything and it's all going to happen the day I get into office. That's ridiculous. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knew it wasn't going to happen the very first day.
Did he say those words? Did he say day one? Did he say day one?
Yeah, but he was talking about
I don't know if he said day one about taxes, but I know he would say day one, I'm going to end the Ukraine-Russian war. Well, yeah, right.
And he
started working on it.
Than I thought it was going to be. No, he's come out and said the Ukraine thing has been a lot harder than he thought it was going to be. He thought he would have solved a lot quicker, but he's working on it. And
he's working on every single thing he said he was going to do, except for the Epstein files, which now is getting done allegedly.
And you can't. I don't understand how people can say that he lowered taxes. I mean, a tariff is a tax, so I mean, there is no lowering of taxes. That's a lie.
We can agree to disagree on that.
Yeah, because we're getting the $2,000 tariff check.
That's just taking money out of your left pocket and putting it in your right pocket. That's all.
Right.
I don't necessarily. I think that's true on some things, but not all things. Yeah. I think that's true on some things, but not all things.
If you're $37 trillion in debt, that's not a time to be giving people more money because all we're going to do is pay more debt on it.
But his big picture, I would say his big picture is a lot different than the tariffs. He's adjusted tariffs left and right. A lot of it is to get leverage and to be able to get certain things out of the other countries, which has worked. And he's going to be adjusting that all along. But I mean, I don't really know how I feel about the tariffs yet. I'm going to be honest about it. I haven't seen, inflation has not gone up the way they said it was going to because of the tariffs. So I'm still holding back on my opinion on that. But I do think in some cases he's used it the right way. And other times I think it's probably been too much. So,
well, and he went to China and they lowered the taxes and made a deal. And I think a lot
they
of
lowered it to what it was before he was in office. He basically went right back to normal.
Yeah.
But they supposedly made a deal about some other things that weren't happening.
No. All they did is, what China did is that he said, listen, because you're raising taxes, I am not going to allow you to buy these materials, these raw materials anymore. These are materials that go into F-35s, the military jets, military is freaking out. The Pentagon said, Trump, you better do something. Go get them from Japan or Australia. And Japan wouldn't work with them because he raised taxes on them. And Australia wouldn't work with them because he raised taxes on Australia. So finally he went to China and said, let's work a deal. And China said, let's put everything back to what it was before you got into office, and we'll give you back those raw materials as well. And he said, okay. And so basically we got all that pain from China, and there was retailers that went out of business. There's small businesses that couldn't survive with all those prices and went out of business, and now we're right back to where we started.
How many businesses went out of business?
How many what?
Businesses went out of business. Where's the what are the stats on that? Do you know?
There's over 100,000 jobs. I don't know how many businesses, but it was over 100,000 jobs due to these tariffs because of all this stuff in China. And
I'll have to look that up.
Go ahead and look it up. It was over 100,000 jobs. And when it comes down to, the tax savings that you're saying on overtime, if you look at how much you're paying on tariffs, as Rashawn was saying, and then how much you're saving on overtime, you are still paying more. More money is coming out of your pocket than coming in. If you look at this, the number you should be looking at is how much disposable income does the average or median family have in the United States. And after this tax bill, the median, or whether we look at the average family or the median family, you actually have less disposable income for multiple reasons. One of them is tariffs. The other is because you have 24 million people that depend on AC tax credits, and their insurance premiums going to skyrocket. That's another one. And obviously, because of less competition, that means the other insurance companies that don't even work with ACA are going to raise theirs. So, and then you have the other issues with Canada.
The insurance is a separate issue. Don't conflate that in with the taxes. Yes, it is.
I'll tell you why. It's the same thing.
Affect the cost of living.
Exactly. Again, you have to look at the amount of disposable
income. It's a totally
income.
different subject.
No, it's not.
Throw that in.
We're talking disposable
Yes, it is.
income. When you're talking about your standard of living in the United States, the number that you use is disposable income. How much money do you have to spend on other things that you want to spend? Can you buy a new phone? Can you buy a new computer? Can you afford to buy those things? If you can't, that means your disposable income has reduced.
Okay,
and so your standard of living is
I'm going to
now
tell you right
reduced.
now that if it were not for COVID, this would have already been a problem with the cost of living, because it was the COVID, when COVID took place, is when they changed all the rules for who was eligible for the ACA. And that made a big difference about who was eligible. So that's number one. Insurance premiums, and because they, after the fact, they had so many people being insured, after the fact now, insurance premiums have been going up, and they're not going up because of tariffs, and they're not going up because of any other reason that has to do with what Trump has done. The issue now is you have to address the healthcare issues and the insurance problems on a separate level. That is something that has continuously been a problem in the United States for decades. And it has continuously gotten worse and worse and worse. The only reason people are going to feel it now is because not as many people are going to be eligible for the subsidies and eligible for the free care, because they're changing the limits back to pre-COVID times. And that's why everybody's going to feel it more. But it has been going on over the past few years. You just haven't felt it.
So in 2015, I'll shut up in just a second. In 2015, Donald Trump said it's easy to fix healthcare, that he would have a healthcare plan in 2 weeks.
He was wrong.
Okay, it's been a decade.
No kidding.
Let me guess, he's working on it.
He has a concept of a plan.
But check it out. We are actually.
I know, that was stupid.
Hey, we're actually going to have a show about that. So and I would love to have you guys back on about it. We're going to do the ACA. I got a good friend of mine that's a doctor. So we're going to wrap it up. I want to thank everybody, all y'all, for coming out. I appreciate, you guys coming and spending your time here with us. I think we had a great conversation. Anything you guys want to leave with? Jesus, anything you want to say?
No, I thought this was good. And there were times when I was literally learning from you guys and not just trying to debate. So I was trying to ask legit questions, because if I don't get perspectives, then I'm stuck in the tunnel. So thank you guys for chipping in and helping me either at least learn a perspective or even adjust mine.
It was very nice meeting you, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun.
I wish I hadn't lost my technical abilities here because I really wanted to be in the whole thing because I wanted to hear everybody.
We're getting a laptop.
You want to leave us with something, Nancy? Go ahead, leave us with something.
Yeah, I really never got to put forth my actual views on the whole Epstein files because usually I'm countering a point or something. So my bottom line on that is I think they should have been released. I don't think he should have screwed around. I think there's things in there that people don't want to come out, but I think it should all come out. That's my thing.
Me
What
too.
about you, Jen?
I agree with Nancy 100% that the files should just be released and let the chips fall where they may.
Yep.
And if Trump is in them, I'll be the first one to stand up and say, put the motherfucker in jail.
Yep. Absolutely. Anyone who's that, if they even have it, yes. Anyone who's involved, yes.
And V, what you want to leave us with?
I have never done a self-promotion on this podcast, but I'm going to have to do it today. And listen, we're talking about Epstein, and I just put out an episode, my third episode about Epstein on Political Bear Nation. And the reason why I'm self-promoting is because this is what I was disgusted with. I was disgusted with seeing how many people, obviously most of them were rich, knew what Jeffrey Epstein did and then said, I don't care. I'm still going to work with them. That's everyone from Bill Gates. Well, I mean, Larry Summers. I've said these names before. Deepak Chopra. I mean, people that a lot of people had respect for a lot of these people. And yeah, that includes Larry Summers and Bill Gates and Kathleen Rumler and Paul Kressner. I mean, like, there's just so many names. And one of the things that I found out on top of what I've learned before was that Epstein wasn't just the person, a human Rolodex, as I called him. He did have something or have an agenda against Trump, and people used that as well against him after 2016. And I do think that there is information about Trump that not just about pedophilia. There's other information about Trump that they're protecting. It's not just about did he diddle little girls. It's all sorts of other information that him and Mike and because he talked about Michael Cohen. So I think the information is there. I don't know how much we will see. I do think they're going to redact a lot of it, but hopefully we do get at least to get the abusers and the enablers to have some sort of trial and get justice.
Take us out, Charlo.
All right. Well, we got to wait and see what's going to happen. I mean, I think we all in agreement that they should put everything out.
Yeah, I'm gone.
They will. I don't think that they will, but they should. Like I said, when you got Pam Bondi as the last line of defense, I don't know how much truth you're going to get, you know, unless they bring in some kind of other investigative, independent investigation or something like this. I don't know how much of the truth we'll actually get. But I am happy, man. My Trumpers are, they're starting to come around. I mean, I just like, for me, it's just the normal stuff. Like, I just like, we got to get out this phase. I'm noticing myself that like, dude is acting really weird right now. Like you can't like, even if like you're a diehard Trumper, you can't ignore that fact. And I think Epstein has something to do with it. Like I said before in the podcast, I think we're looking at him trying to just cover something up for somebody else. I personally don't think he, is involved in a criminal way, but I mean, through the court of public opinion, he's probably going to get smashed because even though Jen doesn't think so, they were besties. And, you can't be around somebody like that and not know what he's doing. So obviously, if you weren't doing it, you were still looking the other way, which is wrong too. So that's what I got to say on it. We love the views, we love the subscriptions. I hope you guys continue to watch. I want to thank you guys for coming out. We really appreciate you guys being on with us, giving us diversity in the panel and everything. And we out of here.
Peace.
Peace out.
Peace out.
Girl Scout.